Hello, Scott here, the Cowboy Counselor, here again today with another video on fire, forging, and good living. So one of the things I wanted to talk about today is doing things that make us happy. One small thing that has made me happy is it's cold again. So I've got a little bit of a wood fire going here on my coal forge just to kind of warm my hands and my back up on while I'm talking on this video. So this is a sword that I made many years ago. I think I hammered that whole thing out by hand out of I want to say like a concrete forming stake or something. And a lot of work, a lot of fun. I made it to use. I routinely use it to beat the crap out of pallets when I'm feeling angry or frustrated. And it's held together all these years. And there's a lot of drama behind making swords. I don't really depend on being good at it. I've made several. What really I think I enjoy the most is doing sculpture. And if you caught that last video that I did, the Scrap Dragon, that's really where my heart is at, is taking form and function and turning it into something that looks believable. So today, what I want to do is something that I have not done before, but it's always interested me. I want to take a European deer mount and I want to try to recreate it out of steel and copper. So I've got a deer head selected. Let's walk over and take a look at it. Okay, this is the head that I want to use, and all of the European mounts, it looks like I never even boiled this one out. It looks like it just kind of naturally decomposed on its own, probably out on the wood pile over several years. I think I harvested this buck about 15 years ago. I do remember that it was back in a wilderness area, and one of my sons was with me, and we had to pack that thing out about 3 miles. And if I'm not mistaken, we got turned around on the way out, and it really turned it into quite an ordeal to get out that day. But have many fond memories of this hunt. And it's not a particularly big buck, of course. I'm not a trophy hunter, I'm a meat hunter, but it's got a beautiful 3x3 antler setup on it here. And that's what I want to try to recreate. So what I think I'm going to go for is I want to go for a table sculpture that will emulate this, and then it can be set on a coffee table. And I'm thinking I'm going to use steel and copper. So copper for the bone part and steel for the antlers. So I'm gonna go ahead and start selecting my pieces. I may try to do this video as part of all one video because that Scrap Dragon got really long doing a four-part series. So I really appreciate the people that went through that and liked it and commented on it. I'll try to keep this one a little bit shorter. Just wanted to point out there's geese flying today. I don't know if you can hear that, it's snowy, but I heard them flying over and honking. I never get tired of coming out and looking at geese when they're coming over. Okay, here's some likely looking pieces of round stock. This is some kind of once again, probably a concrete surveying stake. It's gonna be fairly heavy, but diameter wise, it actually matches the diameter of that antler. So what I think I'm gonna do is throw it in the coal forge, cut it in half, and I'm gonna use that for the base on each side. And then I'm gonna have to add more to it to get that taper out to the end. I wanna be really careful to keep this shape. So I'm gonna be forging as I go to really create this bend and get the exact angles so I can recreate this beautiful creature. Okay, I went ahead and cut my steel in half with a cutoff blade, and now both pieces are in the fire. I'll heat that and then I'll bring it out and go to forging on it. Okay, I'm gonna flatten one end a little bit, and I'm gonna split the stock to make a couple of the antlers. At least I think I am. This is pretty thick. These round tongs that I'm using, they've got initials forged into them. I can't quite tell what it is. I don't know if you can see that, but my guess would be is they're way over 100 years old. These reins are forge welded on. Hand forged tongs, don't even know where they came from. I would imagine I picked them up at a flea market or at a blacksmith sale somewhere. But just kind of a neat tie to the past to be using these. I'm cooling the butt into that so I can keep on grabbing it with gloves, just easier than having to use fire tongs. So I'm still forging these antler tips. Okay, we're starting to get a little bit of form and function here. I feel like I'm trying to match this angle right here. I think I did. And now I need to, looks like this one needs to come back forward, maybe drop down a little bit. So I'll do that. I'm gonna switch over to using my propane forge now so that I can heat both pieces at once evenly without danger of burning up my steel. With the cold forge, you have a lot more heat, so it's difficult to work on more than one piece. Hence the saying, too many irons in the fire. I'm not gonna lie, this is harder than I thought it would be. God must have known what he was doing when he made deer antlers, because this is hard to emulate. That one's at least getting kind of close. After a lot of work, I have two horns. They each seem to match pretty well. I don't know if you can see that. I can't see my camera screen right now. Here is the other one. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to have a piece welded off of this one here. Same thing on this side, and try to match this antler. So I'm more or less pleased with what I have going so far. It doesn't seem too far off from the form and function of the actual deer. That's what we have. And once again, I'll be welding these two Springer pieces on. So, okay. That actually was a little bit more difficult than what I thought. I've been making stuff for a long time and just trying to match the angle of that antler. One of the mistakes I made is I did both pieces at once. I think going back, I would do one at a time. I kept on losing track of what bins I was putting into each one. So we can at least see now we've got maybe some believable antlers. I can't do that. You can picture a deer hopping around. And I hope you enjoyed this video. I may have lied about this not being a series. That took me long enough that I have a feeling I'm gonna have to shoot 2 or 3 episodes of this one too. And I guess we'll just see how it goes. I'll decide later on. So over and out, have a great day, stay warm, bye.